we've got a corner over here. I have not taken any boards out of yet, but we've got this big old hole.
Okay, I'm done. That room.
We got a pretty good sized hole here. Might be some repairs we're going to need to do in this corner. Yeah, that's not quality. All right, we'll investigate that further.
You can't say quality in this house.
I have never seen boards that short in building a floor. That's maybe 2 feet? Wow. We've got a corner over here I have not taken any boards out of yet, but we've got this big old hole. And this was what was underneath of the wooden board, and there was no board attached to the back of it. So this is where all of our wires ran down underneath the house. I think, and I don't love this, but I think we're just going to have to tear all of this out and see what we've got underneath. But the first step is going to be getting this room a little bit cleaner, because I do not want all of this particle board down in the crawl space where I have to creep through it and crawl through it and deal with the nails and everything else. And boy, that's a lot of boards, a lot of work somebody put into this, but it's just all got to come out. Because if we look back here at this wall, I don't know if you guys can I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but we are level with the sill plate at the bottom of it all the way to right here. And then right here the floor starts to dive until we're several inches below the sill plate over here. Looking at it from nearly floor angle, you can see how much of a gap we suddenly developed there. So this is coming out too. It's all fixable, all can be done in a reasonable way, and we will get it done. Hooray!
Now, as I'm going through this floor here, like this piece that I'm about to pry up in just a few seconds, you'll notice that a lot of these boards actually don't span all the way across between two joists, like that one right there. The boards that are on this are tongue and groove on two sides, and then just groove, well, they're tongue and groove, male and female, on alternating sides, so that they lock together. But there are a whole lot of these boards that don't have any nails in them at all. Was it possible to fix these joists without tearing out the entire floor? Yes, we could have fixed this that I have found so far underneath here, but in about a video or two, it'll become apparent that this was a much better choice. I'm a big fan of tear it out and do it right than put a band-aid on it and let somebody else deal with it later. I very much prefer that the work be done and finished when I'm done with it, not, oh, in 20 years you're going to have to come back and do this as a plan, because who's going to communicate that plan? It's never going to get to the person trying to do their work unless it's the same person. So as I'm going along, these back joists are not actually attached to the wall, except for that very first one. It does appear to have one or two rusty, really rusty nails in it, but the rest are physically not even touching. In fact, it looks like not only are they not touching, but they've been either intentionally knotted out or rotted out in almost the perfect shape of a notch, and the floor has fallen almost all the way across through here. So if I was going to do a repair on this room, I would have to sister all of these joists while crawling underneath, which can be done. There's a pretty good sized separator down the middle where that back wall is sitting to be able to support the roof. I would need to crawl in with blocks and tools to level everything to sister out the boards, which is putting another board of the same size or larger right next to it, jack up the floor so that we would be able to get underneath the joists and be able to put blocks underneath there, put something that would be water resistant for the sill, and yeah, it would be quite the project. Although obviously with this particular project, despite those repairs, I would still also have to go back and fix the holes that were at the corners of the room and the holes underneath the bathroom, and that would require some of the methods that they attempted to use. And right here is a perfect example of what happens when the boards don't span all the way across from one side to the other and there's no nails in them. Granted, this is a direct pressure application, but it's still a serious problem. Yeah, that would not be something you'd want to have happen as you're walking back and forth in the room. And just random chance that there was no harm done.
All right, well, we're getting on towards the end of the day. I'm going to have a little bit more work that I'm going to be able to get done in here today, but let's take a look at what's right underneath my feet, because this is interesting. So straight down below me, we have all of the old floor that was over here, and they just chucked a bunch of it up underneath, and there's just a bunch of random trash. There's some copper line over here with compression fittings. There are a whole bunch of support pieces underneath here, and if we go back and look this way without stepping on any of these, because I almost fell through just a little while ago, there is a new layer right there where someone has gone back in with pressure treated wood and decked this out. Now here's the weird part. As they went along, I'm going to step down here. As they went along, they had a board underneath of this sill piece. And they cut behind this board, which that's fine, and they replaced with a pressure-treated piece of wood going across. Again, that's fine. These guys are sitting on this concrete, or these blocks, and there's a pressure-treated board here. What is weird is they came back with this board and that board's got a big chunk taken out of the end of it. So he may just be, they couldn't really do much with it other than jack it up. But we're going to take all of these separate, and we're going to lift all of this back up into plane, pull these boards out, and get a new level floor that stays with the sill, which looks like it's in good shape, all the way across. We're going to do this all the way to over there and get all of this floor back in one level and hopefully plumb configuration. So these boards are in great shape. They're 2x8s. They're substantially overspan, so we're going to do something about that. It's dry as a bone underneath here. No problems. We've got a bunch of wiring to pull out. Everything underneath here is going to be interesting. This over here, I think we're going to come back with a battery that's fully charged and slice right along that 2x4, slide a trimmed board up underneath, possibly two, block this completely out, and then add one more in that I know this is hard to visualize. Add one more here, all the way down across this, with something to keep the termites out of this space, some barrier there, and then we'll put right onto that our new flooring and decking. So this is going to have to be laid out so that it will fall onto basically 4 and 8 foot sections so that I can go across. We're probably going to come back across with some posts to support these. This joist is broken. Lovely. So these are probably going to get a support across the middle here at these are 2x8s, so let's say 7 feet, 7 to 8 feet, which should be right about in the middle of the room. And 2x6 unsupported span is about 7 feet, and these are 2x8s. So yeah, we'll split the difference and we'll put it at 7 feet. We'll go across, keep it out of the way of our plumbing underneath from the bathroom, and not feel like we're walking downhill into this room anymore. And now we know why we were walking downhill the whole way through. I understand why they did what they did, but we're going to fix it. It's amazing how far up that ceiling seems right now. I feel like I'm in a basketball court now. Before I could literally just reach up and touch the ceiling, but from my hand to that is probably another 5 feet. So this is about knee deep in here. This is about a perfect working depth for getting everything done. It's not a big step up. It's not a big jump down. We can get all the wiring pulled out from underneath here, get all of this leftover junk that is just wrong out of this space, and pull this wire. Now that we know that this is running over here, we'll bring him over here and put him in one of these two bays. That'll give us a substantial amount of additional wire to be able to bring him up into the box. And you know, it's a mess, but I'm actually really happy with how the mess has turned out so far. It looks like the support for this is directly underneath this wall. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.